Welcome to Mom on Purpose, where it's all about helping moms overcome challenges and live their best lives. My hope is by being here, you're more inspired to become the mom you were made to be. I'm Natalie, your host, a wife, boy mom, dog mama, Chicagoan, and former lawyer turned professionally certified coach. If you're here to grow, I can help. Let's go. Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm so happy to be here with you today. If you haven't given me a review in a while, would you please do that? Even if you have before, it means so much to me, and it's so helpful for getting these inner work and weight loss tools for motherhood, for parenting and time management and the overwhelm. It really gets all of these tools out to more moms when Apple and or Spotify or whatever platform you're on sees new reviews coming in. It's really helpful. So I know that as a consumer, before I had a business, I didn't understand that. And now I definitely know that and try to be more generous with reviews because it does make a really big impact for the show. So if you wouldn't mind, if you have an extra second, I know it takes some of your time and honestly isn't like the easiest process, but it really would mean a lot to me and be really helpful for other moms as well. I just love the messages that I get that come in pretty regularly about the podcast in DMs, in comments, in emails. I know that this works, specifically the podcast episodes on here can be really helpful, and it's my love language to get it out to more moms. So thank you so much in advance. I read all those reviews. I know it takes your time, and I'm really appreciative of it. What else is going on? Diving into summer, my friends. I signed Robert up for more activities, and like every single season of the year, it seems like my kids are changing and able to either do more, or sometimes we have to pull back and do less. I remember when, I think it was last summer. Yeah, it would have been last summer when Jack was not yet 1, but he was over 6 months and he was on the move. It almost became harder to do things than when I could just baby wear him. So we had Robert in swim for a while, and I pulled him out of swim because it was just too difficult for me to take all 3 of them to swim. Just swim specifically was like harder for my son. And so I just told myself, that's okay. This is hard for me in a way that I don't want to force, and we'll get him back in swim next year or the year after. You know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes, at least for me, just being that high achiever, like wanting to have my kids in certain things and have this idea of how it's going to go. Like, yes, all my kids are going to take swim lessons. That's an important skill that I want to make sure they have. And not necessarily changing that because I do still believe that, but also honoring my own capacity and time and where we're at and being more flexible. I am so much more flexible. You almost have to be. And I'm really proud of that. I'm proud of being able to let things go. Like, I just don't make the beds. It's totally fine. Like, I love that about myself. And of course, it depends on where you're starting from. Like, I was someone who always made the bed, my bed and our beds, and, having 3 boys in 3 years, and now they're 3 under 5. And just being able to let go of things and be more flexible, it is awesome for me to see that change and that shift. And as we enter into like a new phase where, gosh, Jack will be 2 this fall, like my youngest, that feels insane. Like, for sure, the fastest 1.5 years ever. And so long-winded way to just say that now we're entering a phase where I can take the 3 of them to more things. It's so funny. I have Robert and Henry both in soccer, and I can't do both of them at once. Like, they have the same, how do I want to explain this? They have the same class available at the same time slot. So for different ages, but I decide not to do that because Henry, with his, he's got a lot of separation anxiety. So when I have them both in soccer, they're so little still, I want to be able to like be with each one. I can't just kind of eyeball it. And so I do them back to back, like one class, like Henry's class is first and then Robert's is after. And Jack obviously is there too. And so I just tote all 3 in. I mean, some kids are there with like 2 parents and it's 1 kid, and I'm just pushing all 3 in. They're all so little. And I got snacks. I got them strapped in the car seat or not the car seat, the stroller or the wagon. And we just do it. And people are always like, I'm so impressed. Like, and they're just used to this. They just sit there and do it. And it's not perfect, right? They're kids. And, but I'm sharing this because it changes. I'm flexible. I push myself. I saw this reel just yesterday and it was like something to the effect of, I think you should just bite off more than you can chew and then learn how to chew it. And I'm like, yes, that is what I do. And that is what I teach, right? It's like when you bite off more than you can chew in motherhood. I definitely did that with having 3 boys in 3 years, but now I have the skills and continue to practice the tools to expand that capacity. And so you just do it. Like, I'm not just going to sit at home, right, all day, every day with 3 kids and feel like a victim of motherhood. I'm going to push myself. And if it's too much, like, swim when, Jack was little and on the move, and being able to have basically 2 under 2 while watching my oldest in swim, it was just too much for me. That's okay too, making those decisions. But right now it feels like, okay, Jack is a little bit older. Henry's definitely a little bit older, has language, my friends, right? Life-changing after 2.5. And I'm able to do some more activities with the 3 of them. And it just like blows my mind and is so fun to see my capacity expand, their capacity expand, for us to do things in the community and activities, and for myself too. Like, just this morning, I was driving to get my hair done and I saw all of these families headed in for, it looked like what was like an outdoor soccer game. And I was like, wow, they're going to spend their entire morning here. And I love that. And I just wonder if these parents are also signing themselves up for things that they care about, that they're interested in, just because they want to do that, whether it's to grow, whether it's to have fun, whether it's to learn a new skill. I just want to be a positive voice to advocate for that, because you will feel so much happier and more fulfilled when you're doing something that you genuinely like. And that doesn't mean, fake it. But if you want to learn how to garden, like ever since I turned 40, I swear, again, content, man, it just targets you so perfectly. I saw this reel and I was like, yes, this is me. And it was actually a guy, but he was just gardening in this like one little planter. He was like, how are your 40s treating you? Gardening just comes up out of nowhere. And I definitely can relate to that. I have this desire to garden. So that's a real desire. And obviously my life is full and I have my kids and their activities and school, and I'm building this business and I love it and it's thriving and I want to take care of you all and my clients, and I will continue to do that. And also I just noticed this little desire to want to start gardening. So something like that comes up for you. Do you honor it? Do you give it space, or do you just squash it down? So in a very real-time way, what I'm doing, this is a very new desire, right? I'm not rushing out to the nurseries. I'm not over-researching, but I'm also not shutting it down thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have time for that. I can't do that. I'm just allowing it to be there in my little, I call it an idea cloud. It's just sitting in my idea cloud. And I don't know if I'm going to do anything with it yet. My first thought about whether to do something with it is like, maybe next year it would be fun to start something really small. I grew up with a garden. My dad loved having a garden forever, actually, just with some vegetables. And like, I just have such vivid, fun memories picking cherry tomatoes. And I still love cherry tomatoes to this day. I'm kind of a tomato snob. And I thought like that would be fun, like something to do for myself, but also to include the family and the kids. And I don't know, I'm just giving it space. And so my encouragement to you is to give your desires space. And I know we already talked about this, but it's just coming up for me now. I'm 40 and I have this desire, and I want to encourage you to, yes, encourage your kids' desires, but like even more so, it's important for you to encourage your own desires, because they will see that as an example. And that's better than anything you could offer to them in terms of what you can show them, is right. It's living by example. Okay, that's what's going on over here. Not at all what I want to talk with you about, kind of a long intro, but let's get to it. I want to talk with you about losing 50 pounds and some weight loss secrets that I haven't shared before. But before we dive in, what you might not know and what is not on the website at all is I created a weight loss secrets mini course that you can get over at momonpurpose.com/secrets. It's just $17. It's a 3-part video series and ebook guide where you get the most common mistakes for high achieving moms and what's stopping you from losing weight, exactly what I would do to get started losing weight today. And you're going to hear a more detailed explanation of how I lost the weight. So momonpurpose.com/secrets. This podcast is going to be supplemental. It's going to be completely different. But if you want like a deeper dive and a real taste of this work and specific steps for how to get started losing weight this week, exactly what I would do, momonpurpose.com/secrets. Okay. I lost 50 pounds after having my third baby. And at the time, I had 3 kids under 4 years old. You've heard me talk about this before, but I was thinking about like, what was the difference between me then and achieving my weight loss goal in like 4 months versus someone who struggles to lose weight in kind of like a relatively quick timeline or just like a timeline at all that they would want to. So it's starting and stopping, it's losing weight, then gaining it back. It's, you want to lose 50 pounds, but it's taken you a year to lose 10 pounds, right? So something is off there. And I was thinking like, what's really the difference? And so I want to share with you some of the secrets that I have that I didn't even realize that I had, right? Which makes sense because that's how I was able to create the result, right? It's sort of like you don't even know what you don't know. The reason that I know now what I didn't know then that was so helpful is because I've now had the privilege over the last couple of years to coach many, many moms to lose weight, whether that is in my weight loss containers as students or through my coaching program, my one-to-one weight loss coaching program. So I want to dive into what those secrets are. And then I have something special and exciting to talk with you about and announce to you right here. But let's get to the secrets first, okay? The number on the scale matters. Every time I see a post or a piece of content that says the number on the scale doesn't matter, I get tense. I'm so mad about it, right? A hill I will die on. The number on the scale matters. It's kind of like when people are saying, I'm rich because of blah, 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 and none of it includes money. I'm like, why are we so mad at money? Yes, I love family and I love my spouse. And I also money's really great too. It's how we can do and live and experience all of these wonderful things, right? It's the same. People tend to do the same thing with weight. It's like the number on the scale doesn't matter. And instead what matters is all of these other things like getting fit and, different blood sugar numbers or different numbers that you might get if you get your blood drawn or whatever, right? The argument is that the number on the scale is very superficial. And what I want to tell you is that that's BS. Okay. If you want to lose weight, that is valid. And guess what? You know how we measure weight loss? Every time that I go to a doctor or some sort of health appointment, one of the first things they do is they get my measurements, including, they don't really do my height anymore, but right. Well, your kids, right? They measure their height. And one of the very next things they do is get on the scale. Okay, still to this day, I just had my annual appointment before I'm even in the room getting on the scale. Okay, that number matters. Now, it doesn't matter more than other things. It doesn't mean you're a better, healthier, more successful person. It doesn't mean anything about your worth. Okay, but I want to just make space for you to really give yourself permission to care about the number on the scale and say it does matter. I matter. My weight matters. And so many of us have tried to undo and are still working on undoing a lot of the like negative programming with respect to bodies. And I am all for that. And also, what I don't want to encourage and what I see kind of happening is like going too far the other way, where we almost say that all of these things matter so much, and that means the number on the scale doesn't matter. I don't think that's true at all. And I think you probably don't either if you want to lose weight. And so then we do this thing where we like shame ourselves and we feel bad that we even want to lose weight because we think that the number on the scale shouldn't matter. And then we end up trying to overhaul our eating habits and working out, but really we want to lose weight, but we don't really say that. And then we feel shame about it, but we're like trying to lose weight and then doing all of these other methods and then it doesn't work. And it's this whole big thing. Okay. You will get so much further if you just say, I care about my health. I care about a variety of measurements for my health, including the number on the scale. The number on the scale matters. For what? For your weight. That's it. Okay. And there's neutrality in it, but there is also this sense of connection to your body, a sense of connection to your goal, a sense of this matters. And I think that's really important for weight loss from like an abundant place. Okay. Secret number 2 that I want to share with you is that weight loss is way, capital letters, my friends, W-A-Y, way simpler than you think. I know you, my friends. You're like me. You want to complicate it because you want to do things at the highest level. You're trying to solve for hormones, inflammation, protein, gut health, blood sugar, supplements, workouts, calories, macros. And before you know it, you have lumped in 10 goals into one. And that goal is getting healthy and losing some weight. The problem with this is you are trying to achieve 10 goals at once. And you're not just in this vacuum. You're maybe a wife, maybe a mom, maybe you're working inside or outside the home. Like you have all of these other roles. And so it just becomes a lot. Too much, we might say. And so what goes first? Right? This overly complicated goal of health and weight loss that you're working on. So with my lose more with less method, weight loss just becomes about a calorie deficit and the number on the scale and losing weight, eating mostly in the way that you're currently eating with a few common sense tweaks. But generally speaking, it's eating less. And so you do less and it takes less time. And that makes it so simple. So you will achieve it so much faster than you ever have before because it's one goal. Right now, you're trying to achieve 10 goals. I mean, even just eating healthier and working out are 2 goals. And eating healthier, typically the way that my clients do it, there's like 5 goals in that, right? Because you're upping your protein, you're making other swaps like maybe reducing carbs and sugar or flour. Maybe you're tracking like volume or macros as well. And so you have 4 or 5 different goals within changing your eating habits. Then on top of that, you have the exercise that you're adding in. And so you've got at least 5 or 6 goals right there. It's too much. What I'm not saying, and this is something that I like to emphasize, is that overhauling your eating habits isn't a worthy goal and getting fit or exercising isn't a worthy goal. Absolutely it is, of course, but do them one at a time. When you focus on weight loss, just weight loss, you will be so much more successful in such a shorter time. And I actually think the longer you drag a goal out, the harder it is to achieve because you have to overcome all of the new self-doubt that is fueled by your primitive brain looking at the past. It's like, okay, well, we've tried this before and it's been years or it's been months and we tried this method and that method and it didn't work. And like the longer you like prolong the goal, the longer it takes. It shouldn't be that way, right? It's kind of unfair, but I think it's true. And that's really why speed isn't the goal, right? And I'm always kind of talking with my one-to-one clients, like there's no rush. And also we want to make sure you're just focused on one goal and doing it in a way that like is, I think of like massive action, but it's almost inaction here, right? Because you're eating less, but in a way that aligns with your life right now. It's like the one thing that you're mentally focused on, even though it's going to take less. So it's so much simpler than you think. The next secret kind of dovetails nicely with that one is that it does not take more time. Weight loss does not take more time. Pretty much, I don't want to say every, like as a black and white rule, but every other health goal that I can think of involves doing something more. You are starting a new workout routine, or working with a personal trainer, or increasing your protein, or changing your eating habits, or tracking macros, like all of these other health goals and just other goals in general. You want to write a New York Times bestseller or start gardening as a hobby, whatever. It's going to take more time, which isn't bad, but it is something that is a factor to consider. Weight loss, very uniquely, does not. Because you already have to eat to live, right? To survive and to take care of your body, we need food, energy, right? Weight loss, the way that I teach it using my Lose More with Less method, actually takes less time. One of my favorite testimonials from a client who I helped lose like 50 pounds was that she was so shocked at how it was like saving her money, saving her time, and it was like less effort and energy. And she just never thought that that was how she was going to be able to achieve her weight loss goal. She always thought it was going to take more. And I think that's why a lot of moms put off weight loss, is because they think it's going to take more time. It's like, I don't have time for that right now. But weight loss actually takes less time when you do it my way, because it's going into a calorie deficit. So you literally are teaching your body to use the fat stored on your body for fuel instead of using new carbs, new energy for fuel. I love this, my friends. It is like one of the best kept secrets. It's how I was able to lose 50 pounds in 4 months after having my third baby, when I had 3 kids under 4 years old, running my business, primary childcare, husband's, working outside the home, breastfeeding, like all of the things. That would not have been the time where I would have started gardening or any other hobby or goal that would have taken more time. But I was able to do it because, just as a part of life and taking care of myself as a human being, requires eating food. But weight loss means less food. Best kept secret, my friends, especially just for like busy, high achieving moms who have a lot going on. The next best kept secret is that high achieving moms, my clients, tend to struggle more with weight loss and then get really internally frustrated that they're struggling because they're high achieving. You're high achieving. You're so good at doing all of the things. And this is actually what makes simple, doable weight loss harder for you until you learn how to do it my way. Because what you will focus on, and this is just kind of like a result of weight loss being such a popular goal, such that a lot of other types of, I don't know, shall we call it like weight loss methods or modalities, focus on weight loss because so many people want to lose weight, even though it's so much more than weight loss, right? So you might see an advertisement for signing up for some sort of like fitness program, right? But the advertisement is through the lens of weight loss. And that's totally fine and valid from a marketing perspective. I just want you to be aware of it because you're likely seeing a lot of ads and content out there offering you a specific method to lose weight, but one that requires more. And as a high achiever, you want to do things the quote unquote right way. So you want to get in shape. You want to be the healthiest version of you. You want to eat more protein. You want to fill in the blank, right? Like optimize your nutrition. And again, do all of those things, but do them one at a time. And your high achieving brain will want to do it all at once because you are very good at doing more. You have a high capacity. right? You're a high capacity woman. I get it. And also, in this season of life, you have taken on more than you ever have before. You've got kids, you've got work, you've got the home. Like, it's a lot already. And so to make space for something like weight loss, something that you want deeply, you're going to be so much more successful long term if you do it with less. Best kept secret, my friends. But understanding your tendency, just as the high achiever that you are, to want to do it all at once and to think that you can be very, very helpful, right? So something that I do is like, just ask myself, how can I do this with less? It's honestly how I came up with the lose more with less method. Like, it's why I'm calling it that, because to me, that's who I want to hire personally. Someone who can show me how to get the result that I want doing less. And that's what I asked myself when I was losing weight. I was like, how can I do this in the middle of like a time where it would be very easy to say, now's not the right time. I have too much going on. I was like, oh no, this is not going to be a someday goal. This is not going to be a forever goal. This is going to be a goal right now. So how can I do it with less? And like, how cool is that, right? Because it's so fun for me now on the other side of it to be able to help so many other moms with the lose more with less method. It's just been such a joy for me, and I'm just excited. I'm so excited. With that, I want to share a very special announcement with you. I have been working on a brand new signature weight loss course called At Your Goal Weight, and it is coming out soon. The content is all done. I am in the middle of recording the videos. It will be out this summer. It gives you everything that you need to implement my lose more with less weight loss method so that you can lose weight in the middle of your busy life, eating, generally speaking, what you're already eating, just less of it, but with very specific tools like mild doable hunger and how to track and what to tweak when you get into plateaus and all of the things, right? I'm teaching you that method. You can lose weight so much more simply and permanently, right? That's one of the biggest reasons why I love this method, not just that it works and that it works more quickly, but it works permanently because, one of the biggest problems with other methods is if you're going to go keto or whatever other type of method, and then you stop that once you lose the weight, what happens? We all know, right? We gain the weight right back. And so instead, my weight loss method teaches you how to lose weight given the lifestyle and the way that you currently already eat, with some minor tweaks, but mostly focusing on anchoring to the scale. It's one of my tools. You'll learn everything in the course. Of course, you get a private portal, a private podcast. It's going to be really easy to consume. And most importantly, it's going to give you everything you need to lose weight simply and permanently using the lose more with less method. I cannot wait to get it to you. So if you want all of the details for when it's going to be out, what's going to be included, I would just sign up right now for the wait list. All you got to do is go on over to momonpurpose.com/details, and you will be first to know when you are on this list. First to know about what's included, first to know when it's out, first to know all of the things about At Your Goal Weight. I know that this course is going to be transformational for so many of you in this community who have just been waiting for me to come out with a process for you to be able to use. I know many of you have been in my mini course, which is my top selling mini course, that talks about how I lost the weight and the next best step. And you don't have to have taken that, but this definitely will be the next best step for those of you who want to lose weight, who are in this community, is to get inside At Your Goal Weight. I'm so excited to bring you all of the details on that. So momonpurpose.com/details, and you can sign up for the wait list to get exclusive information and details and be the first to know. The last weight loss secret that I want to share with you is that weight loss is an identity shift. And because of that, it is emotional and spiritual. So for those of you inside the membership, for those of you who have followed me on Instagram over at mom.onpurpose, for those of you who have been podcast listeners, you know that a lot of the tools that I teach are inner work tools, meaning we're focusing on your thoughts and your feelings first before actions. And this is really, really helpful, especially in our everyday lives when there's so much outside of our control. Because on default, what we're going to try and do is control our husbands. What we're going to try and do is control our kids. And when we're presented with a challenge and we go into fix-it mode and control mode, we inadvertently create disconnection and anxiety and worry and problems in our lives. And so the work is to focus on how you want to think, feel in that order, and then act. Okay, so your brain will not do this on default. So most of the motherhood tools that I teach him and trained on and believe in and use every single day in my life go in that order: thoughts, feelings, actions. Weight loss, and I was just talking to a girlfriend because she was like, oh, I bet you like the mindset part of it is so helpful. And here's what I want to say to that. My weight loss approach is actually the opposite. It's action first, and then identity, thoughts, mindset, feelings second. And the reason for this is because you will have this momentum snowball of results when you do action first. And so your confidence builds, your identity just starts to naturally change. Let me give you a quick example of what I mean. So one of my one-to-one clients, it was one of my very first clients. I loved working with her. I helped her lose 50 pounds. We did my Lose More with Less method. It wasn't even called that yet. And, I told her exactly what to do, and she was checking in with me daily, and I was giving her little tweaks. And that was all action based. Okay. So my Lose More with Less method is action first. I tell you exactly what to do. It's all strategy. Right? I'm not telling you how to think and feel your feelings. I'm like, okay, this is what you weigh. Here's how you're going to start doing your weigh-ins. Here's what I want you to tweak. And this is exactly what's going to be included in at your goal weight. And so strategy first. And then at the end of we ended up working together for a year. And so at the end of the first 6 months, I remember her telling me oh my goodness, my mindset is completely different. And I was like, oh my goodness, tell me everything. And she was, I'm paraphrasing here, but she was sharing with me how her identity had shifted, how she had no idea that she could lose weight this quickly and who she needed to become to maintain that. And that's why she signed on for her next 6 months, was because even though she had lost the weight, she knew that she needed that next skill of maintenance, which is its own skill. And yes, I teach that in At Your Goal Weight as well. And it was so fun for me to hear that, because even though when you implement the strategies of the Lose More with Less method, it's strategy first, what happens over time is that you start to see how different it is to be someone who is at your goal weight. The person who's at your goal weight thinks and feels differently. And you will see that more quickly when you do the strategy first. You can do mindset work first, but it's so much harder, right? It's and then what you can do is you can end up self-sabotaging and being like, do I need to journal about this? Or what? I'm like, no, you just need to actually do the actions, right? So we can end up just being the high achievers that we are. We want to think about it and journal about it and do affirmations about it instead of doing the hard thing, which is following the Lose More with Less method. And so when you do strategy first with my weight loss approach, the identity shifts, the mindset shifts, the spiritual shifts that you will experience will happen, but they will happen along the way. They will happen as you do tweaks. They will happen as you have successes. They will happen as you have these little plateaus. They will happen when you have a slight uptick and then you're able to pivot really quickly and get back into that calorie deficit, and it's not the end of the world and you're not catastrophizing and you realize, oh my gosh, I am a different person now because I know the skill. And this is what my client was saying. She's like, I know how to lose weight now, just living my normal life. I know I'm capable of so much. And she would say to me, I can't explain it, but my mindset is so different. I'm like, yes, exactly. And I told her, I was like, what do you think you would have said or believed if I would have said that to you in the very beginning, if we didn't do strategy first? And she said, I don't think I would have believed you. And I'm like, yes, exactly. That is why I don't start mindset first with weight loss. And it's really what makes my approach kind of unique, because I want you to have these wins. I want you to see the scale go down. Yes, the mindset work matters. Yes, the identity work matters. Yes, 1000%. One of the best kept secrets of weight loss is that it is emotional and spiritual. And when you do see success and when you do lose weight, you will create more opportunities. You will enjoy your life more. You will love things more that you're already doing, right? You will enjoy, just like as one example, like parenting more. Why? Why is that? It's because like you're going to have a different mindset about what's possible for you, because weight loss is one of the unique goals that you're kind of always thinking about, right? If I want to start gardening, or you want to write a New York Times bestseller, it's not in your face every single day. You're not thinking about it every single day, because it's this separate thing that you actually have to go out and seek and do. That's not a part of you, but you're always in your body. So every day when you're getting into the shower, when you're getting dressed, when you're putting on clothes, when you're eating, like we have these subtle low grade thoughts about ourselves. And this part isn't about the number on the scale. This part is, it's not like because you're thinner or because you're a lesser weight that your life is better or you're happier. It's because you personally know what you want to weigh. And when you weigh a number that is not that number, you're out of alignment with who you want to be. Okay? It's like if you're constantly yelling or snapping or reactive with your kids or your spouse, it's hard for you to show up happy and joyful and connected, because you're thinking, okay, I'm doing this thing I don't want to be doing. I'm living out of alignment with who I want to be. Now, there's nothing wrong with you, just like there's nothing wrong with you when you're not at your goal weight. But there's a skill gap. And when you learn that skill and it helps you align with who you want to be, something spiritual happens, right? Because you're now thinking, oh, yes, finally, this is who I am. This is who I want to be. This is who I've wanted to be. And so there's alignment. And then that's when there's that ripple effect. That's when there's like that momentum snowball that allows you to enjoy your everyday life better, whether it's parenting, whether it's work, whether it's new opportunities. I talked about this before, I forget where, whether it was in the membership or somewhere else, about how I saw this reel from this entrepreneur guy, and he said, I'm paraphrasing here because I kind of forget, but he said, I've never not had more opportunities after getting in shape. And I'm like, yes, of course. Now, if I hadn't lost the weight, I wouldn't have understood that. But I totally experienced that. I totally believe that. I've seen my clients unsolicited tell me that. And it's only because of alignment. So if you want something and you don't have it and you're thinking about it constantly, like with your weight, there's a misalignment. You're out of alignment with who you want to be. And of course you can do thought work on it. And I recommend that you do. But more than that, I want you to be who you want to be. I want you to be at your goal weight, because you deserve that. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to tell anyone your reasons. You can have a reason that you like. You could just want to. It's totally valid. And when you are in alignment with your goal weight, that alignment compounds, and you will reflect that in your confidence, in your work, in your parenting. And so it helps you show up as the mom you want to be, not because of the number on the scale, but because this is who you want to be. It's like, I did this hard thing of reaching my goal weight, and that's really awesome. And that confidence pours out into who you are, into your life. All right, my beautiful friends, head on over to momonpurpose.com/secrets to get my weight loss secrets little mini course. Head on over to momonpurpose.com/details to sign up for the waitlist to get insider secrets about all of the details to come for my brand new signature course called At Your Goal Weight. I'm so excited to get it out to you. Until next week, my friends, take care.